Can one man truly change the course of the entire world? Adolf Hitler was not just a dictator, he was the architect of one of the greatest human tragedies in history. His legacy isn't measured only in wars or speeches, but in millions of shattered lives. In this video, we'll explore in depth why Hitler is considered one of the most evil men in history. Prepare to uncover the full scope of his hatred, his ideology, and his crimes. Hitler was born in 1889 in Braunau am Inn, Austria. The son of an authoritarian father and a submissive mother, he grew up with a troubled personality and deep inferiority complexes. Rejected twice by the Academy of Fine Arts in Vienna, he lived in shelters, surrounded by poverty, racism, and nationalism.
Du meine Arbeit für richtig hältst, ob du glaubst, dass ich fleißig gewesen bin, dass ich gearbeitet.
It was during these years that, according to his own memoirs in Mein Kampf, he began to form his worldview rooted in anti-Semitism and contempt for the weak. His experience in World War I only solidified these beliefs. Although he never rose in rank, he received minor decorations and saw Germany's defeat as betrayal. He blamed the Jews, communists, and democratic politicians for what he called the stab in the back. After the war, Germany was in chaos. Hunger, unemployment, and political unrest ruled. In that context, Hitler joined the German Workers' Party and quickly became its central figure. He renamed it the National Socialist German Workers' Party. With powerful speeches, fear tactics, and a clear scapegoat, he drew crowds by the thousands. He adopted the Roman salute, the swastika, and a narrative of racial purity. In 1923, he attempted a coup known as the Beer Hall Putsch. It failed and he was imprisoned, but during his time in jail, he wrote Mein Kampf, detailing his plans for power, his racial hatred, and his expansionist ambitions. In 1933, Hitler was appointed chancellor.
The powerless president with withering sarcasm.
Herr Roosevelt verlangt endlich die Bereitwilligkeit, ihm die Zusicherung zu geben, dass die deutschen Streitkräfte das Staatsgebiet folgender unabhängiger Nationen nicht angreifen, und er nennt Finnland, Lettland, Litauen, Estland.
Soon after, the Reichstag fire gave him emergency powers. Within a year, Germany became a totalitarian dictatorship. All political parties and unions were banned, press freedom was eliminated, and racial laws were enforced. Concentration camps like Dachau were established for political opponents. Under Joseph Goebbels, Nazi propaganda turned Hitler into a godlike figure. The German people, humiliated by war and desperate for hope, embraced Hitler as their savior. Nazism didn't just control the state, it controlled minds. From an early age, children were indoctrinated through the Hitler Youth, where they were trained to obey without question and to despise the so-called enemies of the race. Education, cinema, music, and even architecture had one goal: to glorify the Führer and reinforce racial hatred. The cult of personality was total. Obedience was law. Dissent was treason. In 1942, at the Wannsee Conference, what was already happening was formalized: the final solution to the Jewish question, a euphemism for the systematic extermination of the Jewish people. Between 1941 and 1945, over 6 million Jews were murdered, many in gas chambers, others by shooting, starvation, or torture. Camps like Auschwitz, Treblinka, Majdanek, and Sobibor became death factories. But the Holocaust extended beyond Jews. Over 200,000 people with disabilities were murdered. 500,000 Romani people, thousands of homosexuals, political opponents, and Jehovah's Witnesses. The Nazis conducted horrific medical experiments, often on children, in so-called laboratories within the camps. These acts are among the most atrocious crimes in modern history. In 1939, Hitler invaded Poland. This marked the beginning of World War II. For 6 years, Europe became a battlefield. Under his command, the Nazi armies committed countless atrocities: massacres of civilians in Poland, Belarus, and Ukraine, execution of Soviet POWs, destruction of entire villages, systematic rape and violence by SS troops. Millions died, and many more were displaced. Hitler wasn't just seeking territory, he aimed for the annihilation of Slavic peoples and the conquest of living space for the German race. In 1945, Berlin lay in ruins. Hitler took his own life in a bunker beneath the city. Soon after, Germany surrendered. The world was shocked by the horrors discovered in the concentration camps. The Nuremberg trials exposed photos, testimonies, and confessions that shook the global conscience. Humanity made a promise: never again. Adolf Hitler wasn't a mythical monster. He was a human, with charisma, strategy, and absolute hatred. The most terrifying part is that millions followed him. His story isn't just about him, it's about how fragile society can be in the face of fanaticism. To remember what he did is not to spread hate, it is to build resistance against it. Thank you for watching this documentary. If you made it this far, leave your thoughts in the comments. Share this video to help others understand the gravity of what happened. And if you want to support content like this, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment, never again.